भगवतां नारायणेन स्वयं वन्दे महापुरुषम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीं त्वामनुसंसदामि भगवद्गीते भगवद्वेषिणी.
Other than the other card. This is a fact of life. So for you to get into that, what am I, even that inquiry, you need the Shastra. You need the Shastra, you have to negate what are all, it is not workable, other things. Our external persuasions, external seeking of pleasure and pain and in life is not going to help us. Even for that understanding to dawn on us, you need to live a dharmic life. You need to live a righteous life. You have to find out, you must have the grace to start looking inward. Antarmukhi Bhava is easy to say, but who is willing to do Antarmukhi Bhava? Everyone is interested in only Bahar because our faculties are oriented externally. All our eyes, ears, everything is oriented externally. So we are living the life of external life only. For you to turn inwards, it needs a big grace. For that you need a righteous life. For that you need the Veda, Shastra, all the Karma Kanda, rituals and all that, live a dharmic life, religious life, righteous life. Then you get a sort of a pleasant disposition, which I have told you, the Chitta Prasannata. Then only you will ask, okay, I've been living like this, but it's not giving me that some sort of a satisfaction, what it is all about. The question will come. Yeah, an Acharya will come, a Shastra will come. Then only you will be able to do. No, this is not enough. You have to look inward because your reality is different from what you are looking at. And that has to dawn on us. Then only you will go for the Sampadartha. Then only Gita comes into play. Gita does not, the very fact that you, all of you, some of you at least started, let us read Gita, that is how I got into Gita. Otherwise, people may not even ask, what is there? I know very well myself, what is there for me to know about myself? You ask anyone who is not interested, generally living, they won't ask that, what is there? I know, what am I? Only I have to find out what I am supposed to do in life, to the society, to the family, or to myself, how to grow, how to make more money, or how to live a good dharmic life. Even for that I need money, so I have to work. So people will be generally thinking in that direction only. That is how that is why our in Veda also 99% is Karma Kanda. Only 1% is Upanishad. Why? Because that is how people are. So we cannot say Ramana says Antarmukhi Bhava. That's enough. No, it doesn't happen. Who is interested in Antarmukhi Bhava? That is why Shastra is there. And once you go there, once you get into that level, then a self-inquiry is a Sampadartha. Once you really start looking at it, there is nothing to look at it. Because it is only Desakala Vastu Aparichinnam. It's just a being. For you to understand, you don't need any science or technology or intellect. You have to own up your reality. You need a internal disposition only. That's what I'm trying to say right from beginning. You need a disposition where a cheerful disposition is there. There is no agenda. You are able to sit with yourself. When you close your eyes and sit with yourself, you must be just without getting clouded by thoughts and anxieties. If you can do that, you will find that that is the sort of being you are, even if you are in a happy moment. That is why Shastra tells, Upanishad says, Anandat kalvimani bhutani jayante, anandena jatani jivanti, anandam prayantanti, abhisambhisantiti. Anandathilendha ellame vandadu, ellame sustain ஆறுது, ellame it is getting resolved into. அப்படின்னா your reality is Anandam. So, Ananda, அப்படின்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? Just by being your Ananda, why are you seeking it outside? What we do, all our right, ice cream சாப்பிடுறதுலேருந்து கார் வாங்குறது வரைக்கும் எல்லாமே looking for Anandam outside. You want some pleasureful moments. Why? Because you find that you are not having it inside. Because you are not understood what it is all about. But whereas every moment of Ananda is only by what do you call, when you even take ice cream, you think before taking ice cream, by taking ice cream I'll be happy. Then after taking ice cream you are happy. Immediately you don't understand that your happiness, your Ananda is your Swarupam. Looking for happiness in ice cream is because you have disowned your Swarupa and look for it outside and get it and be happy. Then again go for something else, get it, then be happy. But happiness is in between. Every time you are not doing anything, you are happy being yourself. And then you invite a desire, fulfill it, become happy. Invite a desire, fulfill it, become happy. Invite a desire, fulfill it, become happy. But in between one desire and another desire, what are you? You are happy only. Like even between one thought and another thought, what is there? Silence only. The same way, between one moment of happiness coming and going, the another moment of happiness coming and going by way of outside things, what is your Ananda Swarupam. And that is your just be, is your reality. And what is its nature? It is timeless, spaceless, objectless. Just be. If this is your Swarupa, then why I don't, I'm not right from beginning of childhood onwards, why I am not? Because you never look for it. Because every society onwards, everything, you are busy acquiring things and other things. First, making your limbs all right. Then you how to get your food, how to get your water. So you have been busy doing all those things. So you never looked at yourself, what your reality is. And your reality is decided by the society. Your name is so and so, your height is so and so, your identity card is so and so, your uniform tells you from which school you are. All that we have been building and building and building on what I am not. So that is how the society is. Why it is so? Because I told earlier, everything in a human being what it is, unless you ask and get to know, you choose to know, you won't know. Because the faculty is totally left free. Bhagavan has not programmed you. Because you are the most intelligent being in the creation, it has left it to your will and to know or not to do or not to do. Everything. Even though 99% of karma kanda is full of rituals and all that, how many of us do it today? Not even 1%. Why? Because you have got the freedom not to do.
Yeah.
No human being can be forced to do anything. Shastra may show so many things. How many of us know even? We are not even interested in looking at it. We know, we say, no, we have a very good Shastra and all that. Even Shastra spelling, people ask to write in Sanskrit, they won't be able to write. That's a fact of our life. Because the human being has the freedom not to do. Veda, that is why Veda is very clever. It says, if you want Sarga Kamaha Ejeta, if you want Sarga, do this. It doesn't say you should get Sarga, no. It does not stipulate, it does not mandate it that way. It only says, if you want rain, do this, Kariri. If you want wealth, do this Lakshmi Puja. So, because it knows, Shastra knows very well, you are not going to do whatever it stipulates. Why? Because human being is given the freedom, total freedom, and total freedom in the sense, totally Purnama Vandirkom. And Shastra knows, Bhagavan knows that very well. Because the same people who wrote the Karma Kanda only later wrote the Upanishads also, where they say Aham Brahmasmi. Because they know very well that your human being as you are born is Purnam. But you have to know, you have to ask for it, then only you will know. For you to ask for it, you will exhaust all other options. By doing, get tired, then come to Shastra. Come to ask, no, I am doing so many things, everything I have done very well, but in spite of that, I am not happy. Then it will say, if you are a happiness Swarupam, and you are looking for it outside, you have lost it inside, you are looking for it outside. How are you going to get it? So you have to ask for it inside. Antarmukhi Bhava. And then what? You just have to see whatever it is changing all the time, just keep on negating it. The changeless is you only, your Swarupa. That is the Tumpadartha. First 6 chapters, Bhagavan has started bang. With that only, the Upadesham itself starts like that. Because that is the reality. That is what the Shreyas, which Arjuna is looking for, it is there for the asking. What we say, no? Tattungal Tirakkapadum, Kalungal Pudukkapadum. That is what it is. If you refuse to ask, Bhagavan can give you only a head. He cannot make it work. You have to make it work. So that's all. Since that is how we have to. That is why it is very important that we develop that inquisitiveness to know about ourselves. And that inquisitiveness is already there. Because it drives you. Life drives you to ask this question. You will not be able to have that fulfillment unless you ask this question. That is why Ambani is not satisfied with his millions. He wants 1 more million every day. So, very, in the sense, it's very authentic. Our understanding of human life is very authentic because we are authentic. We only think that we are not authentic.
But Swamiji, actually, going through Bhagavad, I'm reading. Second Skandathla, Maitreya and Uddhava conversation, a dialogue between them. Maitreya tells him, Vishnu வந்து மாயை கிரியேட் பண்ணி he is himself not able to come out of it. அந்த அளவுக்கு வந்து மாயா வந்து நம்மளெல்லாம் மறைக்கிறது. ஒன்லி பகவத் ஸ்மரணம் தான் வந்து அந்த மாயை நீக்கும். வந்து விஷ்ணுவே அந்த மாயில சிக்கிட்டு விட்டாருன்னு அவர் சொல்றாருன்னு வருது. மைத்ரேயி உத்தவா மைத்ரேயா
ஒரு நான் முன்னாடியே சொல்லியிருக்கேன். இந்த சென்ஸ் லைக் ஈவன் அனுரோன் அனியான் மகத்தோ மகியான், the smaller than the smallest and bigger than the biggest will have the infinite potential to be infinite. It is common sense. Like we know, like even an atom explode ஆனா எப்படியோ, அதை விட நியூக்ளியஸ் எக்ஸ்ப்ளோட் ஆனா எப்படியோ, புரோட்டான் எக்ஸ்ப்ளோட் ஆனா, ஹைட்ரஜன் எக்ஸ்ப்ளோட் ஆனா, அது the smaller the particle, its explosion gives more matter and energy. அதே மாதிரி the timeless, spaceless, objectless being ஆன நம்மளோட ஸ்வரூபம், when it manifests, it will manifest like this only, infinite. The infinite variety ல வந்து நம்ம கண்ணோட்டம் போறதுனால அதோட ஆரம்பம் என்ன? Dimensionless being, which is our reality, ங்கிறது நமக்கு கண்ணை மறைச்சுடுறது. See, that is a glory. It is not மறைக்கிறது இல்ல. How can I see right now when we can see ourselves, whatever my mind, my emotion, my abhilasha, my body, health, sickness, pleasant, everything I am able to see, no? So the being is very much available. The dimensionless being is very much available. It is never getting covered. It is never getting covered, but we lose sight of it because we are so much interested in the variety and the infinite.
The Maya.
Kanna marakkiradhu சொல்றது is what you call, we are only covering up for the ajnanam. We are not seeking. We have to seek. We are very much there. As we see the infinite, we are very much there. So we cannot raise our hand saying that kanna marakkiradhu. Because it's our own glory. Our being, the being in all of us, the glory is the variety, what we see. So you have to, that is why you have to look at how everything is changing all the time. Changelessly, then changing varum. Something should be rooted. Otherwise, what everything is changing, there is no possibility of any fulfillment and all that. Continuously change. There's nothing. For example, the sun and moon doesn't complain because they continuously changing. They are not complaining. If changing is your reality, you will accept it. But you are not accepting. Means what? Changeless is your reality. Simple. If changing reality, infinite reality is your reality, then you should accept it. Like even a cow doesn't complain, and the sun also doesn't complain, and moon also doesn't complain. Only you are complaining because changing is not your reality. But changing is not your reality. Now what is what is otherwise? Changeless. அப்போ சேஞ்ச்லெஸ்னா என்னன்னு பார்க்கணும் நம்ம. வாட் இஸ் அதையும் பார்க்க வேண்டிய அவசியமே இல்லை. சேஞ்சிங்கை கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சம் நெகேட் பண்ணாலே தெரியும். ரைட் நவ் வி நோ That right now when we are talking, what is changeless is only the being in all of us. Our language, our looks, our height, weight, everything changes minute to minute. Mood, everything changes. So that we are not able to accept it as our reality. Even though sometimes pleasure, sometimes minus pleasure are accept minus are prarabdham சொல்றோம். So that means we are not able to own up. So when we are not able to own up the changing, then you must own up the changeless. And changeless is right now what you are. Only the changeless alone can keep all the changing. உங்களால தான் நீங்க சேஞ்சரஸா இருக்கிறதுனால தான் அந்த சேஞ்சை நீங்க பர்சீவ் பண்ண முடியாது கிளியரா. You are able to say that time it was like this, that time it was like this, yesterday it was like this, today it was like this, tomorrow it was like this, it is like this, going to be like this. எல்லாத்தையும் நம்ம பார்க்க முடியாது எதனால? நம்ம சேஞ்சலஸா இருக்கிறதுனால தானே. So அப்போ you have to own up, and only that you have to inquire is what it is all about. Changelessனா என்ன? தேச கால வஸ்து அபரிச்சின்னம்னா என்ன? அப்படின்னா என்ன பண்ணணும்? You have to be changeless, just be. That's all. That is why meditation, abhyasa, and all that. And anything that is changing, you must be able to, okay, it is there for the time being. இருக்கிற வரைக்கும் அதை யூஸ் பண்ண, அப்புறம் போயிடுச்சுன்னா ஓகே போயிடுச்சு. That's all. It is nature. Selvam means selvom.
Selvam.
Selvam means selvam. That is why it got the name selvam. பைப்லைட் சொல்றதுக்கு தான் வருது அது. And புடிச்சு வச்சோம்னு பார்த்தாங்க. Doesn't work that way. So we have to listen. That sort of a discretion is given to us. அது கொடுத்து தான் அனுப்பிச்சிருக்காரு. Creation is not faulty. When they have created a human being has been given the clear capability to own up this reality. And the earlier the better. Otherwise, Bhagavan will use you for his own activity. Will become Ishvara's associate to bring up, to get children, bring up children, make them do well. And that's okay. You will be still useful in the Ishvara's design. But if you want to be useful to yourself, you have to understand that you are that Ishvara.
But he himself says.
அது இல்லாம நம்ம satisfy ஆக மாட்டோம். The problem is, okay, எடுத்துட்டு போறேன்னு சொன்னாலும் next day you complain. Suppose somebody says, okay, எடுத்துட்டு போறேன், okay, leave, don't argue with him. 2 days later, you come and complain. Something else will come.
Yes.
You are not going to be satisfied. So better, find out earlier the better. That's what Shastra also says. That is why it gives karma kanda and then it gives jnana kanda. It says pariksha lokan karma chitan nirvedamaya brahmanaha nastya kritaha krutena tad vijnanartham gurumeva vigache ஸ்ரோத்ரியம் பிரம்மனிஷ்டம். நீ எல்லாத்தையும் படிச்சு முடிச்சு பண்ணி எல்லாத்தையும் பண்ணிட்டு வரதான் வருவ, இங்கதான் வருவ நீ ஃபைனலி.
அதே அந்த பகவானே மம மாயா துரத்தை அவரே சொல்லி.
துரத்தையா மீன்ஸ் வாட்? துரத்தையா மீன்ஸ் you have to make an effort. Because your பூர்ணத்துவத்தை தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்கு you have to make an effort. Because everything else is apurnam. அதுக்கே இவ்வளவு எஃபர்ட் தேவைப்படுறது.
That is very difficult.
Actually, you have to make that. You have to take the call. The idea is you have to make the effort. Means you have to apurnavam தெரிஞ்சிட்டு you have to take a call. Antarmukhi bhava. You have to turn inward. அதுக்கு தான் விடுவோம். The whole Shastra, the whole get-up, the whole infrastructure, the mind that is given to you is Sattva. As I told you, mind ஓட பேரே Sattva. Suddha Sattva is mind's reality. But you have moved away from that. So it is why Malina Sattva. Rajas, Tamas, அதான் நம்ம படிச்சுட்டு இருக்கோம். Rajas, Tamas, Rajas, Rajas, Tamas, Rajas, Rajas, Tamas, Rajas. இப்படி போயிட்டு இருக்கோம். We never come to Sattva and stay there. Sattva வந்தா உடனே கூட Tamas Rajas வந்துருது. So Suddha Sattva is our reality. Malina Sattva is the way in which we live. So that is why Bhagavan has clearly bifurcated what is Sattva, what is Rajas, what is Tamas. அதெல்லாம் முடிச்சுட்டு now he has completed that one round. Now he says, okay, whatever you have done it, any mistake இருந்தாலும் ஓம் தத் சத்னு சொல்லி அது மனசார ஓம் தத் சொன்னாக்க, ஓம் தத் சத் சொன்னா எல்லா விதமான like he said, ஈவன் கர்மால ஏதாவது மிஸ்டேக் இருந்தாலும் அதுவும் சரியாயிடும் அப்படிங்கறது இந்த ஓம் தத் சத்தை எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ண போறாரு. Now he is going to say Om Tat Sat. ஏன் கடைசி எல்லா பூஜையிலையும் கடைசியில் Om Tat Sat சொல்றோம்னா, whatever mistakes you have done committed in your karma also, by மனப்பூர்வமா சத்தையோட Om Tat Sat சொன்னாக்க, all the things you will come back to a cheerful disposition. சித்த பிரசன்னதா வந்துரும். சித்த பிரசன்னதா வந்தாக்க இந்த whatever கீதா இது வரைக்கும் நம்ம படிச்சதை நம்ம திரும்பி படிக்கும்போது அதோட மீனிங் ஒழுங்கா பிடிக்கும். Then you will be able to understand. Then you will be able to come home. அப்படின்னு இதுக்கோசரம் அது ஒரு நப்பாசையில அவர் சொல்றாரு ஓம் தத் சத். அதை எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்றாரு. Let us see.
Verse 23.
Saying Om Tat படிக்கிறியா?
Verse 23. Saying Om Tat Sat makes the karma efficacious. Om Tat Sat idi nirdesho. Om Tat Sat idi nirdesho. Brahmanasmritah brahmanastena vedascha yajnascha vihita pura. Om Tat Sat iti saying Om Tat Sat.
Next.
The sound kuda there's some sound noise when I read.
என்னோட நாய்ஸ் வருதா?
இல்லை அவரோட நாய்ஸா அது நம்மளோட இல்லை.
Now it will be okay.
Brahmanaha of Brahman, Trivida Nirdeshaha, the threefold expression, Smritaha is taught about, Tena by that, Brahmanaha, the Brahmanas, Vedaha cha, and the Vedas, Yajnaha cha, and the rituals, Pura in the beginning, Vihitaha, were created. Om Tat Sat is the threefold expression of Brahman. By that, the Brahmanas, the four Vedas and rituals were created in the beginning. A meaningful word, anything that reveals something, is called Nirdesha. It is an expression that reveals something. In that sense, a name is also called a Nirdesha because it stands for the object and reveals the object, that object. The three-word expression Nirvidaha Nirdeshaha Om Tat Sat is mentioned. Trividaha Nirdeshaha Om Tat Sat is mentioned Smritaha in the Vedanta Shastra and by those who know the Vedanta Shastra. Like any Nirdesha, these words reveal an object, the Nirdeshya. What is that? The three words Om Tat Sat reveal Brahman. The word Tat indicates Brahman as it does in the sentence Tat Tvam Asi. Chandogya Upanishad 6.8.16. Om also is Brahman as stated in the Upanishad Vakya Om iti Brahma. Taittiriya Upanishad 1.8.1. And Om iti etat aksharam idam sarvam. 8 Mandukya Upanishad 1. Then the word Sat is used for Brahman as the cause of creation. Sat eva saumya idam agre asit ekam eva advitiyam. Chandogya Upanishad 6.2.1. All three words independently and together reveal Brahman. In this expression, Brahmanaha, Vedaha, Yajnaha, cha Vihitaha Pura. Brahmanas, Vedas and Yajnas were created. The word Brahmana can be taken as denoting the Varna, that is Brahmana, and thus standing for all four categories of people mentioned in the Veda. Or it can be adjective to the word Vedaha, meaning the Vedas that are called Brahmanas. This includes all four Vedas. They all begin with Om. Yajnas are the rituals mentioned in the Veda, like Agnihotra, as well as any form of worship to the Lord, like Puja. All these Brahmanas, Vedas and Yajnas were created by saying Om Tat Sat. Because by saying this, Brahmaji created everything. These words came out from Brahmaji in the beginning, Pura. Then everything was created and therefore they have become very important words. Just by saying them, you create certain force that neutralizes any wrong action committed and makes up for any omission of a prescribed step. You must also have Shraddha in the efficacy of saying Om Tat Sat. If you simply say it without Shraddha, it is meaningless. Now, he is going to deal with each one of these words severally. First, he takes up the word Om. verses 24 to 27. Om Tat Sat explained severally. Tasmat Om iti udahritya yajnadanattapakriyaha pravartante vidanoktaha satatam brahmavadinam. Tasmat, therefore, brahmavadinam, for those who know the Vedas, vidana uktaha, mentioned by injections of the Veda, yajna dana tapah kriyaha, the activities such as rituals, charities and religious disciplines, satatam, always, om iti udahritya, after uttering om, pravartante, commence. Therefore, for those who know the Vedas, the activities such as rituals, charities and religious disciplines mentioned by injections of the Veda always commence after uttering Om. Om. At the beginning of a ritual, Om is recited by the priests and only then is the ritual begun. Taittiropanishad 1.8.1. Then and throughout the performance of the ritual, Omkara is repeatedly pronounced. Various forms of charity, dana, are also undertaken, first saying Om to ensure their efficacy. We have seen that there are 3 types of dana, but what is meant here is only sattvika dana. Merely reciting Om will not improve the quality of rajasika or tamasika dana. The 3 types of tapas, kayika, vachika and manasa, can also be made proper by first reciting Om. That makes all these things as effective as if they were done exactly as mentioned in the mandates of Shastra, Vidana, Uktaha. For whom does the undertaking, begin by saying Om, have this effect? For those who have the qualifications to know and recite the Veda, the Brahmavadis. For those who know the Veda, all the Yajna, Dana, Tapakriyas begun by reciting Om become as good as if they were done according to the stipulations of Shastra. When do they begin in this way? Not occasionally, but always. Satatam. Not occasionally, but always. Satatam. It is not that certain karmas begin like this and others do not. Any mantra or archana always begins with Om. Similarly, any yajna, dana or tapas always begins with Om. Why? Om purifies everything. It is such a sacred sound that by simply pronouncing it, even the speech, vak, is purified and the action, kriya, you do become complete. It is the same with reference to the word tat.
Yes, generally we know all. If you look at every our ritual, Om is always there. Especially the Vaidika or the Brahmana, the priest, generally starts with Om. And even the big yagas also, the chief priest will start say Om. Then only others will do. Even the smaller priests will do anything only after getting the anugya from the chief priest to say Om. Even in the படத்திலாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஓம்னு ஆச்சாரியா சொன்னது சங்கராச்சாரிய சொன்னதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் மற்றதெல்லாம் ஆரம்பிப்பார். ஸோ த ஐடியா இஸ் யூ ஆர் ஹேவிங் தட் ஸ்ரத்தா இன் தட் ஹோல் திங் சாஸ்திரா லைக் பிரம்மாஜி when he created ஓம் அத அப்படின்னு சொல்லி தான் அந்த கிரியேஷனே ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணாங்கிறது தட் இஸ் வாட் இஸ் ரிட்டன் இன் த ஸ்ருதிஸ். ஸோ when you do that you have got already a shraddha. You are aware of all these things. You are aware of the whatever rituals you are doing for Shraddha in the puja, in the deity, and also in the priests who are conducting the puja. These are all, the bhavana is totally, completely there when you do Om and do any ritual. So that is how this one, Om is supposed to be. That is why Om is not a pratika. It's not a pratima. It is a pratika. Means sound symbol. It is not a, just you don't write Om. It's not like number letter Om. That is not meant for that. It is meant for the sound. Om is a Om. When the chief priest tells, then the whole Shraddha comes up for all the people, the priest, the Yajamana who is doing the ritual. Everyone gets a proper Shraddha. When the chief priest tells Om, the sound of ketone, everything, the Shraddha comes up. Purnama. So that is, if you have that sort of internal readiness to have that Shraddha, then this Om is efficacious. That is what we have to understand. Otherwise, if we are not all in that, like if you go and tell a foreigner, he won't understand because he doesn't belong to the culture. The people who are in the culture, who are used to this, doing the Veda, the Pura, slokas and rituals and all that, and who have a respect for the priest, and we have got the priest also has got the Shraddha and doing it all properly. In that circumstances, that Om, when you say Om and start, even any small ஒரு மனசு ப்ராப்ளம் இருந்தது, விகினம் இருந்ததுன்னா எல்லாம் சரியாயிடும். Then we'll start with Om. That is how it is being projected. Likewise, Tat also, Sat also. Then we will see what Tat and Sat, what he says.
Swamiji, when we do Archana, we say Om, Om, Om for every Nama. So it should be done with...
Yeah, definitely. That is why the Shraddha should be there. When you do
for
that,
every
then
Nama.
The whole thing is aropitam. In the sense, you are loading the Nama with Ishvara Bhavana. It is not just a Nama. Nama has to come with Bhavana. So that Bhavana that Om brings in. Because it is Bhagavan Brahmave Om சொன்னதனால அந்த Om சொல்லிட்டு நம்ம நாமாவளி சொல்லும்போது அது becomes efficacious. That is why every Nama has got Om preceding. Very important. That is why that Rama Jaya Raman ஒரு மந்திரம் இருக்கு இல்லையா, அது முதல்ல கடைசியில் சொல்லக்கூடாது. Centrally what will happen is continuously சொல்லும்போது ஓம் கடைசியில் வரக்கூடாது, ஓம் முதல்ல சொல்லணும். ஓம் ஸ்ரீ ராம ஜெய ராம ஜெய ஜெய ராம, ஓம் ஸ்ரீ ராம ஜெய ராம ஜெய ஜெய ராம, ஓம் ஸ்ரீ ராம ஜெய ராம ஜெய ஜெய ராம, ஓம் ஸ்ரீ ராம ஜெய ராம ஜெய ஜெய ராம. Generally what they will do?
Sri Rama Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Om.
No, that is not the way.
நான் சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கேன்.
Om முதல்ல சொல்லணும். Om is always the beginning. So that's all important. Small thing. The problem is we are not, even though we belong to the culture, we have not, that part of it has not been handed over properly. Generation to generation, that has not been handed over properly. It's not easy because it involves so many details, so many samagri and so many circumstances, society. But society has changed. Fortunately, what cannot change is only the changeless. அது வந்து கரெக்டாக கம்யூனிகேட் ஆகிடும். தட்சிணாமூர்த்திலேருந்து இன்னி வரைக்கும் அது கரெக்டாக தான் கம்யூனிகேட் ஆகும். பிகாஸ் இட் இஸ் சேஞ்ச்லெஸ். ஸோ அதுதான் நம்ம பிடிச்சிக்க முடியுமே தவிர சேஞ்சிங்கை பிடிச்சிக்க முடியாது. ஓரளவுக்கு பிடிச்சிட்டு வி மஸ்ட் கம் இன் டு சேஞ்ச்லெஸ். அதையே பிடிச்சிட்டு இருக்க கூடாது கடைசி வரைக்கும். தென் you go away dissatisfied. Even after doing all the karmas properly, still you will go dissatisfied. Because it cannot be doshavat karma. Karma means always dosham will be there. Dharma means always little bit of adharma will be there. So அதனால அதை வந்து புரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்கோசரம் தான் தர்மமும் கர்மமும் கொடுத்துருக்கு நமக்கு. Don't get lost in that-ங்கிறதுக்கோசரம் தான். Because the changing is the, I have told, like ஆலாத சாந்தி, சேஞ்சிங்ல வந்து வஸ்து கிடையாது. Changing just gives you an appearance of object. There is no real object. Being is the only reality. But changing continuous motion, it looks like an object. So how can you get, there is no vastu there. So vastu inge da, changeless da irukku. So idha vandu tatparyam, this is the tatparyam. You have to, unless you come to this, but okay, till that time at least you have the Shraddha and the people who wrote that karmas எல்லாம் இப்போ இதெல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு நீ கடைசியில் இங்கே வருவேங்கிறதுக்கோசரம் அதை ஸ்ரத்தையாக கொடுத்துருக்கா. யூ ஃபாலோ தட் டு தட் எக்ஸ்டென்ட் பாசிபிள். ஓம் பின்னாடி சொல்லலாம் முன்னாடி சொல்லலாமே, அது பண்ணுறது ஒன்றும் பெரிய கஷ்டம் கிடையாது. The problem is there is no one to tell us. That is where the problem is. What to do? We have to traverse that and come to quickly what is changeless. அதுக்கு வரணும், அதுக்கோசரம் தான் இதெல்லாம் சொல்றாவா. Yeah.
Swamiji, in Rudram also, Om Namo Hiranya Bhagave se நான்
எல்லாமே முதல்ல
ஓம் சொல்லணும். ஆனா நிறைய பேர் சொல்லும்போது இரண்ய பாகவே நான் சாஞ்சு பார்த்து நமோ 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 நமோன்னு கடைசியில
முடிச்சுட்டு சாஸ்திரிகளே சொல்லும்போது மெஜாரிட்டி மீன்ஸ் அவ சொல்றதுதான் கரெக்டா அவ சொல்லுவா. அப்புறம் that is where the problem is. Om means மங்கள சூச்சகம். ஓம் அத்தான் சொல்லி தான் பிரம்மா கிரியேட் பண்ணார். அப்படிங்கிற இதுதான் அந்த ஓம் முதல்ல சொல்றோம். That is why it is a Om is a Mangala Suchakam, means the sound symbol. By saying that, all your sound, everything, nadi எல்லாம் சுத்தமாயிடுது, everything is come in the right place, you are in the right zone, right ambience for doing that ritual properly. That is how it is. But again, these are all like what we call, these are all angas, these are all karma. கர்மான்னு வரும்போது ப்ளஸ் மைனஸ் இருக்க தான் இருக்கும். அதனால தான் we cannot hang on to it all the time throughout our life. நீ என்னதான் அசுவமேதையாகவே பண்ணாலும் you will have to come to understanding in the your Swarupa. இதெல்லாம் it will help you up to a point. That's all. It will give you a internal infrastructure. That's what I've been right now, right from beginning telling. The prasada buddhiங்கிறது it is not பிரசாதம் வாங்கி சாப்பிட்றது இல்லை. Chitta prasannata is a prasada buddhi, a cheerful disposition. Cheerful disposition, taking things as they are. When the Shastra later comes and tells you that your Swarupa is Desakala Vastu Aparichinnam Satchit Anandam சொல்லும்போது அதை அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிக்கக்கூடிய மனோபாவம் இன்ஃப்ராஸ்ட்ரக்சர் has to be there. சித்த பிரசன்னத்தாவோட இருக்கிற ஒரு சித்தத்தை நீ பூரணமாக தான் இருக்கேன்னு சொன்னா அது அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறதுக்கு தயாரா இருக்கும். பிகாஸ் இட்ஸ் ஆல்ரெடி சேர்ஃபுல். The cheerful disposition has to be attained by doing all our kalmas relatively properly. தர்மமா வாழ்ந்து பகவானோட இருந்துட்டு ஒரு கண்டென்ட்மெண்ட்டை வளர்த்துட்டு ஐ எம் ஹாப்பி அப்படிங்கிற ரிலேட்டிவ்லி சேர்ஃபுல்னு இருந்தாக்க, cheerfulness is your நேச்சர்னு சொல்லும்போது, சாஸ்திரா சொல்லும்போது you will be able to accept it. That is precisely what the whole karma kanda, whole life, why we are living is to get a cheerful disposition. அவ்வளவுதான். Not for anything else. The cheerful disposition, chitta prasannata கோசரம் தான் நம்ம லைஃப். The life, so called life, external life, Vaidika life, Laukika life, personal life, professional life. The whole thing is only to get a chitta prasannata. Wherein the Shastra tells Aham Brahmasmi, Mahavakya tells Tattvamasi. இப்போ சொல்றாலே 4 கோட் பண்ணார் இல்லையா, தத்துவமசி, அயமாத்மா பிரம்ம, பிரஜானம் பிரம்ம, இதெல்லாம் சொல்லும் போது இதை ஓனம் பண்ணிக்கிறதுக்கு, இதை அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறதுக்கான ஒரு திராணி நமக்கு கிடைக்கும். That is precisely what our life is all about. அதுதான் நம்ம இப்போ படிச்சுட்டு இருக்கோம். We are getting into that. All this Shraddha and all that is only meant for that. Yeah.
Verse 25. Tat tadityadabi sandhaya alam yajnata pakriya prana kriyascha vividaha Kriyante moksha kaunchibihi. Aditi, saying that moksha kaunchibihi, by those who want moksha, phalam anabhisandaya, without expecting a result other than antakarana suddhi. Vividaha, various, yajna, tapaha, kriyaha, activities such as rituals, religious and religious disciplines, dana, kriyaha, and charities, kriyante, are performed. Saying that various activities such as rituals and religious disciplines and charities are performed by those who want moksha without expecting a result other than antakarana suddhi. Here we have to bring in the word Udaritya, which means pronouncing, from the previous verse. Even though that is a pronoun which can refer to anything, when there is no reference mentioned, it indicates only tat, which is Param Brahma, the cause of everything. The tat in the Vakya, tat Tvamasi. Like Om, tat is the word symbol for Param Brahma and has the same effect if it is used in that sense with Shraddha. Both Om and Tat are meant for mumukshus. It is used by those who want moksha, that is, those who want to be free, moksha kangshibihi. When they perform various activities, whether they be rituals, yajna, religious disciplines, tapas, or charitable activities, dana kriya, all of them are performed without expecting a result, such as punya, alabhisandaya,
Anabhisandaya phalam. See, the most important, the Shraddha which is being talked about is the Satvika Shraddha. Satvika Shraddha na பண்ற காரியத்துக்கு எல்லாத்துக்கும் we don't expect any other phalam other than Antakarna Shuddhi. Why we need Antakarna Shuddhi? So that I can have a cheerful disposition. If that is the objective, that is the sankalpa, when you say Om Tat and perform, that will be efficacious. Whereas if you do it with a long list of sankalpa saying that car vanum bangla vanum ella vanum solittu Om Tat Sat sonna, it will have its own effect only, not going to be efficacious as it is done with this Shraddha. So that is why it is told now. After 17 chapters he is telling this. Om Tat Sat முதல்ல சொல்லிருக்கலாமே ஓம் ஆரம்பிக்கும் போதே. பட் ஐ won't understand. He will do it. ஓம் Tat Sat சொல்லிட்டு எனக்கு காஃபி வேணும்னு வந்து போயிட்டே இருப்போம். So that is why this is not efficacious. Unless you have this Shraddha as a background, you wanted only mukshu, meaning you are not interested in your karma phalam and car bangla, rather interested only in freedom. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஸ்ரத்தாவோட இருக்கும்போது when Om Tat Sat explain பண்ணா it will be efficacious. That's what he is trying to do. Yeah.
ஒவ்வொரு சாப்டர் முடிகிற சமயத்திலயும் ஓம் தத்சத் பகவத் கீதா
that is why that there he has not explained. Here he is explaining. Every chapter means what? Second chapterலயே நமக்கு முடிச்சிரணும். கீதா முடிஞ்சது எனக்கு எல்லாம் தெரிஞ்சாச்சு முடி போயிட்டே இருக்கணும். But still even Arjuna didn't. Till 17th chapter he was questioning.
For our sake.
Since Bhagavan expects after every chapter he thought everything is over. He has complained, he explained everything. First ஸ்லோகத்திலேயே அசோச்சான் அன்வசோச்சஸ்திலே நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருக்கணும். நீ இருக்க போறவன் இல்லாதவன் இருக்க வந்து இருக்கிற போனவனை பார்த்து அழறது என்ன, what is the big deal அப்படின்னு சொல்றாரு. Neither you are there nor others are there, or neither you are not going to be there nor others are not going to be there. Either way you must. நீ மட்டும் அவன் போறான் நான் போலன்னு நினைச்சுக்கிறதே தப்புன்னு சொல்லிட்டாரு முதல் ஸ்லோகத்திலேயே. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் உபதேசம் அசோச்யான் அன்வசோச்சஸ்தும் பிரக்ஞாம் வாதாம்ச பாசசே கதாசூன் அகதாசூன் நானு சோச்சந்தி பண்டிதாஹ. புத்திசாலி பண்டிதா will not think கதாசூன் அகதாசூன். அவன் போயிட்டான் போறேன், அவன் போயிட்டான் நான் இருக்கேன்னு அழக்கூடாது. பிளஸ் போறவனை பார்த்து போறவன் அழக்கூடாது அப்படிங்கிற. So first probably முடிஞ்சாச்சு கீதா as far as this is concerned. But we keep on telling more and more because we keep on raising more and more questions. Still we don't understand, and that is why hoping that we understand every chapter முடியும் போது ஓம் தத் சத் சொல்றாரு. பட் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்றது இங்க தான் கடைசியில் நான் 17th chapter வந்தாச்சு 18th chapter சம்மரி பண்ண போறேன். அதுக்கு முன்னாடி எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்றாரு.
Swamiji, this Kayena Vacha Manasendriyarva Buddhyatma.
அதுவும் அப்படிதான். ஆக்சுவலி பார்க்க போனா அது சீட்டிங். டெய்லி அதே பண்ணிட்டு அப்படின்னா அடுத்த நாளும் மிஸ்டேக் பண்ண போறேன் அர்த்தம். காயன வாச்சா மனசேந்திரியர்வா புத்தியாத்மாவா பிரகிருதேஸ்பவா கரோமி சகலம் பரஸ்மை நாராயண சமர்ப்பினாமின்னு ஒரு தடவை சொல்லியாச்சா நெக்ஸ்ட் டே you are not supposed to do. But he also knows, you also know that he will do mistake. That's why it becomes a ritual. It doesn't come with the heart. Even if it comes from the heart, you are not அந்த அளவுக்கு புரிஞ்சுக்கல நம்ம. So it's all there. That he also knows, we also know. That is why he keep repeating it. Like Kama Karshit, Manya Karshit, Namo Namaha.
I heard some.
இங்கிலீஷ் சொல்றோம். 1008 சரி டெய்லி சொல்றது உனக்கு மனசுல படலைன்னா அட்லீஸ்ட் சாவணி ஆட்டு தண்ணிக்கு 1008 சொல்றேன்னா அன்னைக்கும் சீக்கிரம் சொல்லிட்டு இட்லி அப்பத்துக்கு தானே போறோம்.
இல்ல ஆக்சுவலி somewhere I heard Swamiji ஆவணி ஆவட்ட முடிஞ்ச உடனே சரி காஃபி ரெடியா
இல்ல காஃபி ரெடி இல்ல there has to be some more incentive. காஃபி தான் டெய்லி கிடைக்கும். அப்போ
இல்ல இட்லி வேடா.
somewhere I heard some discourseல they said எல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு ஆனால் கடைசியில் எதுக்கு பண்ணுறோம் அதை பற்றி யோசிக்காமல் உடனே முடிச்ச உடனே என்ன காஃபி ரெடியான்னு கேட்டுட்டு.
பிரசாதம் மீன்ஸ் ஒன்லி இட்லி சுஜி தான் பிரசாதம். நமக்கு பிரசாத புத்தி இது பகவானுக்கு தான்.
Actually, Swamiji, last Pradosham, me and Sharada had been to this Aripuram Shiva temple. So they will start distributing prasadam at 6:15 or 6:30 during Sandhi Samayam. So the funny part was they finished puja and they were showing all the Deeparadhana and all. So the Lakshmanam and all got over. Finally they were saying the Somova Etasya. That time people went off to the prasadam counter and started queuing. Those people who did not know.
Yeah, because they are smart, no? Whosoever wants to get first, they want to go. Because they have another program. They have to go to the next temple. எவ்வளோ வேலை இருக்கு.
இல்லை, because they are all considered as pastime.
Anyway, let us not.
That is why the whole thing is mass religion ஆயிடுச்சு. It is not a true religion. What we follow is not true religion. It is not Prachinam, it is Arvachinam. What has come in the last 1500 years is only Arvachinam, meaning Prachinamna unmiyana religion, Arvachinamna mass religion. Mass religion more and more competing with more and more deities, புதுசா deity, புதுசா ritual, புதுசா நைவேத்தியம். This is what it is. எல்லாம் நார்த் இந்தியாவில் போனால் லட்டு பேடா எல்லாம் அப்படியே கடையிலேருந்து வாங்கி மனையில் வச்சிருவா, அவ்வளோதான். நோபடி குக்ஸ் அண்ட் ட்ரிங்க்ஸ் பிரசாதம் பண்ணா அப்படியே பொட்டி பொட்டியாக வந்துடும். ஸோ the whole thing is this one, that is why I'm telling you, worship itself has become an impediment in Shastra.
அவன் சாமி 30 கோடி தேவர்கள் இருக்கான்னு சொல்றாள், அவளை ஒருத்தரா வந்துன்னு தானே இருப்பா. அப்போ
that is why it is told. The idea is, okay, நீ வந்து டப்பா ஸ்வீட்டை வாங்கி வேற எங்கேயானு போய் வேஸ்ட் பண்ணாம பகவான்கிட்ட இருந்தா அட்லீஸ்ட் கொஞ்சமான ஏதோ ஸ்ரத்தா இருக்கும் அப்படிங்கிற ஐடியால தான் இது 33 கோடி தேவர். nobody has seen it also. It's all written. The idea is that you remain within the fold, hoping that one day or other you will come to Shastra அப்படிங்கிற ஐடியால தான். பட் the problem is we hold it all to be so very real and we are not able to be real also. 33 கோடி தேவருக்கு 33 கோடி நாமாவளி கூட சொல்றதுக்கு நமக்கு தயாரா இல்லை, நமக்கு தெரியவும் தெரியாது. பட் we will say fancy 33 கோடி தேவர்னு. It's all fancy in the sense the whole thing is become what you call, it's all with good intention but executed badly and does not really help. That is why people go away from Sanatana only because they become too ritualistic. It becomes too too difficult to handle. We have lost the the efficaciousness which கீதால சொல்ற ஒரே ஈஸ்வரா தான். கீதால ஏதான சித்திலா தேவியும் இந்த தேவியும் வருதோ, கீதால there is only one Ishvara that is being talked about. And if at all you have a Pratima, it is what you invoke is important. What is the Pratima is not important. What you invoke is only Ishvara. Ishvarana என்ன? What is not ஐஸ்வர்யம், சகல ஐஸ்வர்யம்னா என்ன? பகவான்னா என்ன? 6 விதமான பகா அப்படின்னா என்ன? ஆல் யுவர் ஸ்தைரியம், வீரியம், சரஸ்வதி எல்லாமே எல்லா விதமான ஃபேக்கல்ட்டியும் உச்சஸ்தாதியில இருக்கிற பகவான். அது வந்து நம்மளாதான் நம்ம உச்சஸ்தாயில இருந்து நமக்கு we want that sort of ஐஸ்வர்யம். நமக்கு எல்லா வீரியம் வேணும், தைரியம் வேணும். And it all amounts to what is its reality? It is the being only. And that is what you are. That is why Bhagavan says, நீ இதை புரிஞ்சுனா அஜோபி சன்னு அப்படியே ஆத்மாபி சன்னு பூத்தானாம் ஈஸ்வரோபி சன்னு தான் நீயும் நானும். openly yes told. பிரகிருதிம் ஸ்வாம் அதிஷ்டாய சம்பவாமி ஆத்ம மாயையா. ஆத்ம மாயையா, ஆத்மானா உனக்கு உள்ள இருக்கிறது எனக்குள்ள இருக்கிறது, பகவானோட உள்ள இருக்கிறதும் ஆத்மா தான். He doesn't say பிரம்ம மாயையா, he says ஆத்ம மாயையா. செல்ஃப் நான் சொல்லும்போது நான் என்னோட மாயா, பகவான் சொல்லும்போது பகவானோட மாயா, அவ்வளவுதான். பட் the fact is the whole thing is changing world. 33 கோடி தேவர்களும் ஆத்ம மாயையா தான். It is not something tangible outside. There is nothing tangible other than changeless தேச கால வஸ்து அபரிச்சின்னம்னு சொல்லியாச்சு. லைஃபோட ரியாலிட்டினா வேற எவ்ரிதிங் எல்ஸ் இஸ் ஒன்லி ஊதுபத்தி சுத்தும் போது ஏற்படுற பேட்டர்ன் மாதிரி தான். There is no reality in that. The reality is only you, here and now.
சுவாமிஜி இது எப்போ சொல்றா அப்படின்னா ஜீவன் வந்து என்ன பிறவி எடுக்கும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி வரும்போது 30-20 கோடியோ என்னவோ மனுஷன் டைப் இருக்கு, அப்புறம் 10 கோடி 15 கோடி ஊர்வன டைப் இருக்கு, அப்புறம் ட்ரீ டைப் இருக்கு, அப்புறம் பறக்கிற டைப் எல்லாம் இருக்கு. தேவர்களும் 33 கோடி இருக்கு. அப்ப நான் நினைச்சேன் இந்த 33 கோடி தேவர்களுக்கு அதுல யாராவது ஒரு தேவர்
இல்ல. The whole thing is the whole, even the other ஜந்து 85 lakh species இருக்குங்கற. 85 lakh species மே யாரு, who is the authority, who is the one? Only because of your karma pala. நீ குரூரமா பிறந்தா பண்ணாக்க டைகரா பிறப்ப, நீ 10 பூச்சி அடிச்சுட்டே இருந்தா நீ பூச்சியா பிறப்ப. So பூச்சியிலேருந்து புலி வரைக்கும் who is giving the karma for such a birth to happen? Only you, only human being. It is a fulcrum of the whole creation. ஒன்ன வச்சுன்னு தான் இந்த ஜந்துக்கள் எல்லாமே. So if you call the bluff, then you are out of the circuit. But still there will be other people who are doing that. That is a different thing. But let us call the bluff. Don't get into the whole thing is ennoda vibhuti idu, right? Now we have to understand that is my vibhuti only. I am able to see the variety in life. And Taranda, I am able to see the variety because my eyes are getting lit by the conscious being, my reality. My reality lights up the mind lights up the eyes, eye lights up the other things. There are no other thing. Dakshinamurti என்ன சொல்றது? பகிர் உத்பூதம் இவ யதா நித்ரயா. Meaning, வெளியில அப்ஜெக்ட்ஸ் இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறதே ஒன்லி இவ ஆஸ் தோ. யதா நித்ரே, எப்படி நீ ட்ரீம் பாக்குறியோ, பூச்சியும் பாக்குற, மவுண்டனையும் பாக்குற, அடுத்தவனையும் பாக்குற, அதுல ஜடம் சேத்திரமும் ஒண்ணுமே கிடையாது, எல்லாமே ட்ரீம் தான். அந்த ட்ரீமுக்கு ஒளி கொடுக்கறது யாரு? நீ, தி பீயிங். அதே மாதிரிதான் வேக்கிங் ஸ்டேட்டும். அப்படிங்கறத புரிஞ்சுட்டா பிரபோத சமயே, once you understand that, once you wake up to that reality, அப்படின்னு சொல்றாரு தட்சிணாமூர்த்தி. செகண்ட் இதுலயும் சொல்லிட்டாரு, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இதுலயும் சொல்லிட்டாரு எல்லாத்தையும், ஹோல் சாஸ்திரா. So we have to wake up. We can, all the details are available in Shastra only because 99.99% of the Jatus, even they cannot understand. And you, the human being, even from you, 99% of the people do not ask for this understanding of the reality. They are willing to busy, we are busy dealing with the Chetana and Achetana. And looking for, தெய்வமா கிடைக்குமா, தெய்வத்தை யாரும், தேவர்களை யார் பார்த்தா, யார் வந்து சொன்னா, நொபடி பார்த்துட்டு வந்து யாரும் சொல்லல, எழுதி வச்சிருக்கோம், அவ்வளவுதான். So we have to be more rational in our understanding because we are basically a rational being. நமக்கு வந்து இந்த பூர்ணமா இருக்கிறதுக்கான ஒரு அருகதை தான் முதல்ல கொடுத்தது. மற்றதெல்லாம் ஓகே, keep you going till the time you understand. அதுல வந்து ஒரு fulfillment கிடைக்காது. You are not going to, என்னதான் உசைன் போல்ட்டா இருந்தாலும் அவனுக்கு மேல ஒருத்தன் வரத்தான் போறான். There is no going to be an end. You are not going to be the end point in any pravritti, however intelligent you are, because it is designed that way. You are supposed to come to your reality. இப்படிதான் டிசைனே பண்ணிருக்கு. So we are trying to beat the design, trying to become more and more. அந்த ஒருத்தன் பேட்டை பத்தி ரிசர்ச் பண்றேங்கிறான், ஒருத்தன் இன்னொரு செல்லை பத்தி ரிசர்ச் பண்றேங்கிறான். இன்னைக்கு பண்ற ரிசர்ச் நாளைக்கு பொய் ஆயிடுறது, அவன் ஒரு நோபல் பிரைஸ் வாங்கிட்டு போறான். அப்புறம் அவன் இன்னொருத்த ரிசர்ச் பண்றான், அவனை பொய் ஆக்குறான், இவன் நோபல் பிரைஸ் வாங்கிட்டு போறான். Endless. And we know that it is endless, but still, because we don't know something better, we keep on doing that. But here there is an opportunity for us that we know something better. That is why we are reading this. This is the idea. Yeah.
Actually, this Pujya Sri Swami classes, in that Pujya Sri Swami classes intimate that last session that they launched on November 15th, that contains exactly what you said now, Swamiji.
Yeah. He closes like that only. Yeah.
No one can perform an action without expecting a result, but they only want antakarana suddhi. It is not considered a phala. A result like punya, etc. is not the end in view.
This is what I am telling. It is not the end in view. புண்ணியமே உனக்கு end in view இல்லைன்னா அப்புறம் பணம் பண்ணப்பெல்லாம் is nothing. புண்ணியமே not an end in view ன்னு சொல்றாரு.
These karmas are performed purely for antakarana suddhi with the attitude that it is an offering to Ishvara arpana buddhya. And they are also performed in order to please Ishvara Prithyatam. They are done by people who want to be free and are begun by pronouncing these auspicious words. These generally, Tat is not used alone, but is the expression Om Tat Sat. Om is used without the other words following at the beginning of any undertaking. But what is said here is that each one of them is efficacious. Using these words, any of these activities become Sattvika. The application of Om and the word Tat have been told. Now he tells how the word Sat is used in the same way.
Yeah, we will see that.
पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय
पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति 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 हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्